Hello, and thank you for joining me today at Community Kitchens at Home Edition. My name is Pauline, and welcome to my kitchen. Now, before we begin, let's take 20 to 30 seconds and wash our hands with some warm water and soap. For today's recipe, you will need 1 pound of gnocchi cooked, 1 pound of baby potatoes cut into bite-sized pieces, 8 ounces of mushrooms sliced, 1 pound of beets peeled and cut into small bite-sized pieces, 1 pound of pearl onions, 2 cloves of garlic minced, 4 tablespoons of olive oil divided, 1 teaspoon of butter, 1 pound of sausage cut into bite-sized pieces, 1 cup of beef broth, 150 grams of soft flavored cream cheese, salt and pepper to taste. So we're going to start this recipe with a damp cloth under a cutting board to keep it from moving while we're cutting. I'm going to take the Brussels sprouts, cut the ends off, remove any leaves that are discolored, and the bigger Brussels sprouts will be cut in 2 or 3 pieces. Smaller ones maybe in half or left whole. We're looking for pieces that are around bite size. I've chosen to use a cipollini onion for this recipe. It's basically just a small onion, and you can use any onion you prefer. We're going to prepare them the same way by taking off the skin and the outer layer of onion. That's always the onion that could be a little bit tough when we cook it. The bigger onions we're going to cut into smaller bite-sized pieces. The small little onions we can leave whole, and when roasted, they get nice and sweet. When cutting up the potatoes and the mushrooms, make sure to clean each first. I usually wash the potatoes and then use a paper towel to clean off the mushroom, and then we're going to cut them in bite-sized pieces. For the beets, we're going to cut both ends off, peel with a peeler or a knife, and cut into small pieces. I like to cut it smaller than the rest of the vegetables, as beets tend to take a bit longer to cook. Now here's our pro tip for the week. If I have the time, I like to roast the beets ahead of time. Prepare them by simply cutting the leaves off close to the top of the beet, washing it, wrapping it in tin foil, and roasting in a very hot oven for about 50 to 60 minutes. Once the beets are roasted, you can simply use a paper towel to rub the skin off. If the skin doesn't come off easily, then that means the beet needs to roast for a little bit longer. Once all of your vegetables have been cut, we're going to add in the olive oil, some salt and pepper to taste, as well as some garlic. Make sure to give this a really good mix in order to coat all of the vegetables in the oil. Next, transfer to a baking tray and spread in a nice even layer. Now this recipe does make a lot, but that's okay. It'll store in the fridge for a couple days, and the leftovers actually taste better than the first day. Add a little bit of oil to some butter in a heavy frying pan. Add in the gnocchi that have been pre-cooked according to the package directions, a little bit of garlic, and stir. We just want to get a little bit of color on this gnocchi and help it to warm back up to temperature. Even though I had to finish this recipe by candlelight because our power went out, the recipe still turned out really well. Now you're going to notice I'm adding in the roasted vegetables, but I do have a few left over. I saved those, and for the next day for lunch, added a balsamic vinaigrette and had a great salad. Then I added in the mushroom broth and the cheese. Now make sure to remove your pan from the heat before you stir the cheese in, or it will separate and you will not have a nice finished sauce. Now you can get creative by adding in any flavor of cream cheese that you like or any brand. You can also vary the type of vegetables that you add to make it your family's special recipe. Now, once you have the cheese stirred in, your recipe is done. To catch new episodes, make sure you go to Algoma Family Services Facebook page. And if you want to see some other episodes, head on over to YouTube, Algoma Family Services, and you can see lots there. Hope to see you next time.